Raspberries. How is it that a band that only charted a small handful of top 40 singles and 4 albums over 2.5 years is considered to have such a lasting influence that still resonates today? Formed in Cleveland, Ohio in the early 1970s, Raspberries were a 4-piece band consisting of Wally Bryson, Jim Monfanti, Eric Carmen, and Dave Smalley. They burst onto the music scene with a style that blended the best elements of British invasion bands and American rock, something we now refer to as power pop. If you look at the popular albums in 1972, it's hard to find where Raspberries could fit in a musical landscape where bands like Yes, the Carpenters, and the Rolling Stones dominated radio.
I think what we sort of brought to the party was an alternative. I've been saying recently we were like the first alternative band. We were the alternative to progressive rock.
With the Beatles' Revolver in 1966, songwriting became more experimental and began to transition from the tight 3-minute songs about love to a more long-form and studio-intensive format that was fully realized with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The Beatles broke up in 1970, and along with artists like Chris Bell of Big Star and Todd Rundgren, Eric Carmen and others channeled their love for these early Beatles songs and were determined to bring that energy into the 1970s and beyond. Though No Matter What by Badfinger, released in 1970, is considered the first power pop single, many unfairly dismiss Badfinger as clones of the Fab Four. Being on the Apple label and working with members of the Beatles likely did not do much to dispel that perception. The Raspberries, however, are now regarded as the first major power pop band. The Raspberries charted a few hits, but never caught on in a way to create lasting chart success. Even so, their impact was felt for years to come as bands like The Knack and Cheap Trick, to the Click 5 and Jet in the aughts, up to bands currently like The Struts. All of them can trace their power pop lineage back to Raspberries. After the release of their third album, Dave and Jim left Raspberries and started their own band, Dynamite. When the remaining Raspberries went their separate ways in 1975, Wally joined Photomaker, who had a few hits in the late 1970s. And of course, Eric Carmen did this. But above all, let's not forget the songs. Songs about love and longing, full of energy, and feeling as alive and vibrant today as when they were released over 50 years ago. This is their impact. This is their legacy. And it's high time these guys made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, don't you think? This is Bijan from Pop Rocks Radio. Thanks for joining me. Till next time.